I think, we've been in that we've been in that for a little bit here. I think the best thing we can do is get ready for the playoffs. It's a new season. That's the only thing that really matters anymore at this point, right? Is the reality is no matter, obviously us winning that game would have helped us in some form or fashion, but at the end of the day, when you go into the playoffs, everybody's 0-0. You got to beat everybody anyway, and that's got to be our focus right now. It's been a tough few weeks, obviously. We thought we had a chance in this game. I love how we fought at the end of the game. Defense, like I said, made some great plays. Special teams, offensively, we came back, had a huge drive to make it a one-score game. Get the ball back. We had a chance to win it, and that's what playoff football is going to be like. It's going to be intense. It's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be tough environments and everything else, and we're going to have to go on the road and get it done. And that's really the only thing that matters right now, is us being able to adjust and think about that and be prepared for that, because really, it's one and done type mentality. You got to go get it, and you got to find a way to win the next game.
It's our job to talk about the past.
It seems pretty relevant right now. It's
yeah,
not, the present?
We're not talking about 1920. We're not talking about the Great Depression. We're talking about the game you guys just lost. That's the fourth in a row. And I said on SportsCenter, Ryan, a couple of weeks ago, I said, I'm not going to send any alarm bells off here because they had lost to Philly and Baltimore.
Yeah.
Then they lost to Kansas City on Christmas Day, and Coach Tomlin called it JV ball. Said he had to wipe the stench off of them. Then they went out in a game where they really had one drive, and their defense kept them in it because Cincinnati was held to field goals, which kept hope at least as a possibility. But this is, am I overstating it to say Pittsburgh's a bad football team?
No, they are a bad football team right now. And here's the difficult part, right? When you say bad football team, people are going to think of some of the bottom dwellers that are attempting to get the first round pick or the first draft pick. It's not that. But amongst the 12 teams or the 14 teams who still have an opportunity to play, the Pittsburgh Steelers, to me, limp into the playoffs being the team that's playing the worst of all of them.
That's much better said. In no way am I suggesting that they're bottom dwellers or anything else. On the podcast, we would call them Poop Town. They're not in Poop Town, okay? They're not there. Hey, but look.
You talk about that stench, though. This is Pepe Le Pew.
There you go. Well, look, you're not. Troy said it. You're one and done, and they've got to be better. And I just don't know what you do. As much affinity for Mike Tomlin as you and I both have, I don't know what buttons the man magically pushes that makes them different in a week.
But remember the optimism when Russell Wilson took over at the quarterback position, when he was able to push the football down the field, when the run game played into the play-action game, George Pickens was seeming to ascend amongst the top-tier wide receivers. George misses those 3 games. He's been back for 2. There's something off between the two of them, the quarterback and George Pickens, but in his opportunities today, he didn't capitalize. And then he has the out and up late in the game where we get a little pressure, and now Russell Wilson doesn't hit him. How is that relationship going to be throughout this week? How will they find a way to connect if they do have to go to Baltimore? And that's what the past, right, since he's calling it the past, that's what the past did. You actually had an opportunity to go get right if you could play against the Houston Texans, another team that's reeling. But you have to go to the Baltimore Ravens and maybe the possible 3-time MVP Lamar Jackson, along with Derrick Henry, who just beat you handily when you went to Baltimore a few weeks ago.
Right, and it's just the recent past includes that. And when they're going to throw that tape on, look, you know each other so well. Yeah. And I wonder how much that plays into a game like tonight, right? Because there's such familiarity in the North. Cincinnati, it's going to take a lot for them to get in. Pittsburgh's going to get in. I can't envision, as I sit here right now, how they're going to look different.
So here will be my question to you.
Okay.
I believe that Russell Wilson wanted to talk about the future because he's an ultimately positive guy. Right? But I'm saying he's a guy that's ultimately positive. He has nothing positive that he could say about the past 4 games. If you're Mike Tomlin, who understands this game more than anyone, what are the positives you are selling to your team that tells you you can go beat the Baltimore Ravens?
I have no idea, and he's not a BS guy. That's the thing. He is an all-cake, no-icing dude, and I don't know what in this last month of football allows you or affords a guy like Mike Tomlin, who's never going to BS his guys, to look them in the eye and go, hey, we can go to Baltimore and win. I don't know.
And so that means if I'm not in some way motivated by negativity, which isn't negativity that's being forced upon me. That's what the film is. If I can't watch this film and dissect it and be self-aware and make some adjustments, there is no winning for this team. And as much as we love Mike Tomlin, we have to be honest. It is year after year of showing promise, of giving hope, and then falling flat early on in the playoffs. There has to be some change in that pattern.
The one thing that every team wants right now at the end of 18 weeks of football is 60 minutes of football. And